These comments from Michigan quarterback JJ McCarthy just blew my mind. Like, I don't know what JJ McCarthy is trying to accomplish here. And what it sounds like is a dude that's been sitting on things for quite a while, right? It's like you know more than what's being talked about, than what's being discussed, than what is known by the common person, by the media, by the community. And you feel like you have to sit on things and you have to sort of, keep things a secret. But at some point, there comes an opportunity, or maybe you have an opportunity where maybe you crack. Maybe, just maybe, you're like, you know what? I'm going to fire off and let people know exactly how I feel. And I think that's what JJ McCarthy did here. Now, again, I know he's ticked off, right? Because here's the thing, Michigan, they are a damn good football team. And they're a great program with or without stealing signs. And when this first happened, guys, and this first came out, my first thought was, everybody in college football is doing this. Everybody, like, I come from the school of baseball, right, guys? Played baseball. I come from that school where sign stealing is as part of the game as apple pie and hot dogs, as sunflower seeds. You know what I mean? Like, everybody steals signs. You get on second base, what do? You're looking at the catcher, and if they're just throwing down basic signs, you're helping out your dude at the plate. Like, if you don't switch up your signs, that's on you. So when I first heard it, I'm like, okay, like, what's the big deal? Why are we freaking out? Then, of course, we got more of this Connor Stallions thing and the elaborate sign stealing operation where they were taking video when Stallions was going to games. And it was a really, really elaborate thing, right? JJ McCarthy at the National Championship teleconference on Wednesday, okay, so this happened Wednesday, had this to say, quote, I also feel like it's so unfortunate because, there's probably, I don't want to say a crazy number, but I'd say a good number, 80% of teams in college football that steal signs. It's just a thing about football. I don't think anybody would disagree, by the way. Side note, I don't think anybody would disagree that it happens. Like, it does. It happens. It happens in sports. People blur the line all the time. It happens. Then he goes on and says this, quote, it's been around for years. We actually had to adapt because in 2020 or 2019, when Ohio State was stealing our signs, which is legal, we had to get up to the level that they were at, and we had to make it an even playing field. Like, why? Why? You're about to play the biggest game of your life, by far the biggest game of your season. And it's like reopening the wound. It's like ripping the scab off and letting the bleeding commence yet again. Like, dude, you have whistled through the graveyard to get here. Why even, like, you play with fire enough. You play with fire enough, you're going to get burned. What's the number one rule of Fight Club? Don't talk about Fight Club. Like, bro, just leave it alone. Like, I know what JJ McCarthy, I know those guys are ticked. I know those guys are pissed. I can't imagine what those dudes have gone through on social media all throughout this season. Like, I get it. You want to say something so badly. Like, you're ready to burst you're bursting at the seams, right? Like, you're literally about to explode. You want to say something so badly, but you just can't. You just can't. You just can't. McCarthy also said this, quote, but, I just feel like it sucks just because, like Mason said, we do work our butts off. We do watch so much film and look for those little tendencies, spend like 10, 15 minutes on one clip alone, just looking at all the little details of the posture of the linebackers, of the safeties off levels. The corner to the field is pressed, but the corners of the boundary is off a little. Stuff like that where it's okay. You can say it's all sign stealing, but, there's a lot more that goes into play, and, a lot of stuff that gets masked, a lot of work that gets masked just because of the outside perception of what sign stealing is about. Again, I get what JJ McCarthy's saying. I know he wants to speak on it. I know so badly. JJ McCarthy wants to clear the air and clear the name, but it just blows. Like, where's the PR guy? Where is he at? Like, JJ, just leave it alone, man. Let the outside people say what they want to say. Let them run with whatever crazy narratives they want. Because when you fuel that, when you feed into that, you're swinging down. And you never win a fight when you're swinging down. The only person that wins in a fight swinging down is the person down at the bottom. That's it. Like, there's no point, man. At least if that's how he views it, if that's the perception. Like, there's just no point. You got the national title game upcoming. And I mean, he should have just had Connor Stallions in the room with him. Like, at that point, he's just basically saying, yeah, we 100% did it. And wasn't there a story basically saying that Jim Harbaugh had no idea? How would Jim Harbaugh not know now? So all of a sudden, stories are starting to conflict each other. Dude, I think this gives even more of a guarantee that Harbaugh is headed for the NFL. Like, there's no way Harbaugh wants to stick around for this madness. There's just no way. There's no way in my mind I see Harbaugh sticking around for this madness and dealing with this craziness. I just don't see it. I just do not see it. So, JJ McCarthy and the Michigan Wolverines, I'm picking Michigan to win. But it's like Fight Club. What's the number one rule? Don't talk about Fight Club. But too late now, I suppose.